It's time for Retsutalk. Tonight, slow beef and diabetes gonna make you feel alright. They're gonna talk about some video games and some insurance claims, and some games are good and some games are lame, and the boys know who to blame. It's a shame. That's right.
Well, howdy, folks. Welcome to Retsutalk, episode 68. I can't believe we're only one away now. It's really exciting.
We've been waiting.
I am your newly Texan host, Diabetes, and with me is newly a father figure, not just to the community of people who play video games, but to an actual human being person.
Aww.
Slow Beef is here.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
What's new in your life?
It's same old, that kind of thing. It's kind of crazy. I have a baby now. I know. It's
a new Let's Play project, you mean?
Yes, it's very near and dear to my heart,
Yeah.
It's crazy,
Yeah. How much have you slept in the past week?
I haven't.
Okay.
It's like really, I call it catch as catch can, but I don't even think that's really fair. Like, you just don't get it at all,
And have you noticed any number of dad joke increases on your end?
It'd be funny if I could think of one to tell now, but no, it's just I've been having, like, no sleep whatsoever.
So has this actually helped your stream? I know you like to stream a lot, so this actually gives you more opportunities to stream, does it not?
Not
because the baby screams in the middle of the night, you wake up, try to put her back down, you're up, so stream something, or keep an eye on her while I'm streaming something.
I've done that a couple times, but to be frank, it's like, you just get so exhausted and stuff that it's just like, what am I doing? This is like,
Comedy gold.
Indeed. It's tough to describe. It's funny because all the shit that annoys me about kids, like babies and stuff, like, so when you're about to have a baby, it's funny, you get more sympathy for it. So if like a kid's crying on the bus, you're like, that's gonna be my kid soon. You know what I mean? Like, I better.
Makes sense.
Right. Then when you have a baby though, for whatever reason, it's like totally different. Then it's like, that's totally fine. They like, oh my god, she shit herself. That is awesome. I love my kid. That kind of shit, So, which is good. It's better than the alternative of not liking your kid,
What's it called when you have a cat and, like, the cat shit changes your mind a little bit and brainwashes you a little? You heard of that?
No.
There's a word for it that I just can't remember off the top of my head.
Oh,
I'll edit it in post.
Yeah, maybe we could not bring that up in regards to my kid. That could be good.
Look, isn't all shit?
What?
In the end?
Yeah.
Regardless of who it comes from.
You're crazy, man.
Mm-hmm.
But
anyway, your kid is brainwashing you.
Yes, my kid is brainwashing me, yeah. But like I said, it's fun. It's harmless, these kids, I
was under the impression that when this kid would totally Yoko Ono Retsupurae.
Nah, actually,
but it has not, in fact.
No. So it turns out, you need a lot of money. So as long as ads are running, we're okay. All right. No, I'm kidding. No.
Now let's thank our 1,000 sponsors we have.
Yes, here they are.
Podcast.
We actually had that opportunity recently.
You told me about that. That was interesting.
To have our first podcast sponsor, sort of. The way it works is sometimes, I don't know if this is true of all partners, but it's true of Full Screen. Full Screen will sometimes approach you and be like, hey, if you want to promote a game or something on your channel, we'll give you a flat fee. And you'd have to, like, in the first 30 seconds, say some kind of thing about them, right?
Right.
And, Retsupurae, that doesn't really fit. Because we're more about making fun of shit, which, surprisingly...
Which I don't think those sponsors would appreciate so much.
Yeah, you'd be surprised, you'd be surprised. But at any rate, yeah, so what am I trying to say here? So, they came up to us and they were like, hey, could you do that? And I was like, no. And then I was like, wait a sec, though. Actually, podcasts have sponsors. So what if we put the podcast on YouTube, we don't run ads, and we just say, okay, this podcast is brought to you by blah, 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 which I've heard of with podcasts, you know?
Yeah, brought to you by this game that you're seeing.
Yeah, exactly. So I thought that actually could be perfect. The guy at Full Screen was down with it, but then it turns out he's like, you know what? I talked to the client. They'd rather a 10 to 15 minute game footage, and they'll give you even more money for that. And I was like, more money, you say? But, it's like one of those things where you're like, this is not, I mean, it doesn't really fit. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't make
Yeah, because you have to actually talk about the game in a, promotional sort of way.
Yeah, and...
which is very different than our usual approach, and I think people would find that disingenuous.
Well, here's the thing. Yeah, it's not even that you have to talk about it in a particularly positive way, but you do have to talk about it, and I'm assuming that you can't, like, just totally rag on it, but I have no idea, you know? So, yeah, it was just one of those things where you had to say no, and it was like, you know, thanks for nothing, Retsupurae. Boy, I picked a wrong kind of, thing, or whatever. But
yeah.
Stupid.
Have to actually pay for our own plane tickets to cons now?
Yeah, ridiculous. Crap. Speaking of which, though, I did buy...
let's talk about the 2015 con circuit.
Yes. We're waiting to hear back on MagFest panel, but it's getting a little late now, and you wanted to go to PAX South, so...
Yeah, PAX South is one of the first cons that's actually reasonably close to me now. Whereas MagFest, I'd have to take a red-eye... Like, we applied for a panel at MagFest, so just think about the logistics of if we got said panel.
Yeah.
It'd have to be on a Saturday.
Yeah.
I couldn't take the day off because it's too early in the year. Would have to fly out there late Friday, probably not sleep, do the panel on Saturday, not really have time to enjoy the con at all, and then come back early Sunday.
Right, which is kind of what I did for RTX, so I don't...
Right, and you hated it.
I don't feel much sympathy for you having to do it, I think is another way of putting that.
Sure.
No. Yeah. I didn't hate it, honestly, like, because I was, really happy at the panel and all that, but, I understand your consternation in not doing that, or with doing that, you know?
And plus the two cons are at the same time, so if you can, like, choose one or the other, it's not a very difficult choice. Like, do I choose convenience and having time to enjoy the convention, or...
Exactly right, yeah. It'd be different if they were both in the same location, then you could kind of say, well, MagFest is, like, a new experience, we've been to PAX before, you know? But,
right.
for you to fly out and stuff, you know what I mean? Again, the panel would have made things a little different, but they really took a long time to, like, get back to us.
Yeah, it's getting to be where, like, if I do go to PAX South, kind of need to get it booked.
Right, and then, like, yeah, because then if we don't get the panel, too, because I'm going to PAX East now, and we kind of, not that we have to, but, like, I feel like we should go to RTX, because they gave us a panel, and they're giving us another one.
Well, RTX is even more convenient for me now than...
This is true, right.
I mean, who cares about your problems, right?
Well, yeah, more or less. But I just mean, like, with this stupid baby and all that shit, 3 cons in a year is kind of tough.
Right.
So it's like, okay, well, if I don't get the panel at MagFest, then I don't really have a good excuse to go to MagFest because, besides seeing friends and all that stuff. But in which case, I'd PAX East is kind of the bigger thing, so,
Yeah, and PAX East tickets went on sale today as of this recording, and I saw Twitter a-fluttering over it.
Yeah, and basically, I was like, should I get it or not? Because you weren't going and stuff, and I was like, yeah, fuck him. Fuck him. I'll get him. I'll go. So
it was a hard thing to let go. I really did want to go, but I just couldn't justify it in my mind. Especially if I'm going to PAX South already. Seems kind of redundant.
Yeah, absolutely. I understand.
And it's what, less than 2 months after PAX South and MagFest?
Right. So, yeah. So, and now things would have been different, though, had we sold out and taken that sponsorship that had nothing to do with Retsupurae.
Then we would just go to every convention, period.
Right.
Ever.
Yeah. But since we're unfortunately too principled for our own good, no, I'm kidding.
That's right. We're such good people.
That's exactly how I'd phrase it.
Yeah.
Principled. Yeah, I don't know. But I'm looking forward to PAX East. Some people can go, some people can.
What are you going to do there without me, besides enjoy yourself?
I'm going to meet Ty Tuesday.
Ugh.
Pull a Hoko.
Ugh.
That's it.
Ugh.
Voice of Dog's going. Zealous is going to meet there. You know that guy, right?
Of course.
Of course you do.
We met him, 3 times?
Yeah. Maxwell Adams, who lives around that area, though, apparently could not get a Saturday pass, so whatever.
No, that's a shame.
Yeah. Oh, well.
PAX South tickets, there's still quite a number available, despite them being on sale for quite a while.
Well, nobody wants to go to fucking PAX South is why.
Nobody likes to mess with Texas.
No, indeed.
San Antonio does seem like a strange location for a convention.
San Antonio. Yeah, it does, actually.
Like, I would think Dallas or Atlanta.
Austin. Look, I don't know anything about fucking Texas. I was just agreeing with you on San Antonio for the sake of it.
Houston, there's some big markets in Texas.
Just Dallas, San Antonio, and Austin might as well be the same thing as far as I'm concerned. Right? It's like
Texas is one enormous city.
Like New Jersey, New York, everything else. Okay. No. Yeah, I don't even remember if RTX was in Austin or Houston. Austin. Right?
Well, let me ask you an ignorant question.
All right.
Why is it called the tri-state area? What's the third state?
Connecticut.
Connecticut?
Yeah. I think,
Ugh.
yeah. I mean, actually, it's a good question now that you mention it. I'm not 100% on why. I think part of it has to do with TV broadcasting, you know, because, like, we got, like, similar channels back in the day.
Mm.
You know, and, like, so all the news was about the tri-state area. I think basically because New Jersey and Connecticut are on our own, didn't have enough news to talk about, so it's just, all right, like, we'll piggyback on New York.
Well, when I think tri-state area, I think of a place you can stand where you got, like, one foot in Connecticut, the other foot in New Jersey, and your left hand in New York.
Nah, I don't think that really works. I mean, it might. I don't really know geography. Like I said, I know nothing outside of my immediate area, so...
Do you know where PAX East is? After having gone to it a few times, do you know where it is?
Austin or Houston? I kind of forget which.
They're the same thing.
Geop's going?
To PAX South? I don't know.
No, to East.
Oh, East?
Yeah.
I don't know.
He is.
Oh.
Yeah. He's staying at a hostel for some reason. But I don't know.
Nice.
Yeah, so it's gonna be a crazy time, I think.
Party.
Yeah.
You won't have the pressure of any panels to do or anything. You can just enjoy yourself.
Indeed.
Whereas I will take the same time to do that in San Antonio.
Well, keep in mind, too, like, PAX usually, like, will kind of tweet, like, hey, we're in Classic Console, or whatever, you want to come say hi and stuff, you know?
Yeah, this year we're dividing and conquering.
Yeah, sure, that's the word we're looking for, conquering.
Yeah. Hey, I might go to PAX Prime. I like Seattle a lot. I went there once.
I'll try, but, you know.
It's over a long weekend, so I can kind of justify that. And later in the year, which is nice.
Yeah, so click the... No, don't do that. Oh, you know what that reminds me of? Can I plug something? Because I feel bad for somebody.
I mean, it's your podcast, technically.
You know that Voidburger person?
Sure.
Somebody, did you hear about this? Somebody, like, put a clickbot on her?
A clickbot?
Yeah. So, I guess they decided they didn't like her, and she didn't deserve to get YouTube money. So, they put a clickbot on her, and it, like, fucks up.
Artificially inflates the impressions, and that's a red flag for Google?
Exactly. And then you're barred from using an AdSense account, like, ever.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah, they flagged her positive, so she's like, yep, you can't have ads on YouTube.
And I'm guessing Google customer service is hard to reach.
Yes, it is. Apparently, yeah. So basically, she's going Patreon only, and even though it hurts a certain other person's Patreon, I will say, yeah, no, like, if you like her stuff, throw her a bit, because she's just doing it for free now. You know what I mean?
What we need is an eccentric billionaire Let's Player out there. Seeing these Let's Play Patreons.
Did you know about that eccentric billionaire Twitch guy?
I think you told me about that maybe on the podcast a few things back. We need one of those for Patreon, though.
Or Twitch, I don't care. Just as long as I can do Let's Play for
who's this Slurby fellow? I imagine he talks like that.
Right. And speaking of people who are trying to make a living doing videos and stuff, a certain friend of ours has returned. I know I said I wouldn't talk about him, but I must, as my civic duty. A certain Billy MC.
A certain Billy MC.
Billy MC is making videos again, if you did not know.
He's changed his brand?
Well, yeah, he's still gonna do Let's Plays, and he's doing a charity stream coming up soon.
Right, but he made his return foray into YouTube by doing food reviews.
Tasty Tuesday, it's called. And it is singularly the greatest thing I have ever seen in my life.
I really enjoy them.
I do too. My wife was like, oh my god, these are so much better than his Let's Plays. My wife doesn't even like Let's Plays or anything, but she's like, damn, this is a lot better. You know?
Has your wife purchased a product that Billy MC is Tasty Tuesday'd?
Fuck no! Like, he has, like, the most sugary, fucked up things.
Well, I didn't know they had, birthday stuffed Chips Ahoy?
Yeah, birthday frosting Chips Ahoy. He didn't like them.
That sounds kind of nasty.
He's kind of an honest reviewer, but he still sounds like, it doesn't, like, sound like it works, his reviews, you know? He's like...
He uses a review system that I can get behind, the letter grade.
Right, yeah. He's like, but he sounds like he loves it no matter what it is. Like, yeah, I think it's a B minus C plus, you know, but
yeah, he kind of newgrounds it a little bit.
Yeah, like, it's like your voice says C plus. No, your words say C plus, but your voice says like A triple plus.
Well, you have one of those professors in college who you thought you were doing really well, but they're really strict. Like, they think A, like, excellent means you're really near perfect.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
I think Professor MC, I think, is near the same way with food.
PhD MC?
PhD. I like that.
That's his father, I think, actually. His PhD MC.
He had Monday Munchies recently.
Yeah, because it was his birthday. And
his birthday, yeah.
He couldn't get out Tasty Tuesday, but he didn't like Thirsty Thursday either.
But didn't he review a drink on Tasty Tuesday?
Yeah, Strawberry Crush,
Strawberry Crush. Yeah, Strawberry Crush.
Yeah. Oh, yes, thank you.
Strawberry Crush stuffed Chips Ahoy.
I was thinking for some reason there was something after it. Like, the drink can't just be called Crush. That's ridiculous.
I want his videos to get so popular, so ubiquitous that marketing firms for various food companies across the world watch his videos with bated breath, all holding hands, praying,
and try to bribe him to review their food product. Billy wants nothing to do with me, which is a shame because I'm serious about this. I want to do a Kickstarter where like we fly him out to New York or something, like a big metro area, and give him like all sorts of different crazy shit, you know? Not like crazy like, oh, here's bugs, like Fear Factor, but just like shit
like
that
4-star restaurants.
Yeah, or even shit that would be 4-star for him, like sushi. You know, like shit that would be really out there that I know I mean, I'm not 100% sure if Billy's tried lo mein, to be frank with you.
How about caviar stuffed Chips Ahoy?
Yeah! I would love to take him to like Le Cirque or something and just be like, okay, this is Beluga 000 with creme fraiche and scallions. I don't know, give it a B plus C minus. It's a little salty. Like, Billy, it's like $1,000 food. Yeah.
High class living, man.
I know. It's like, here's some steak tartare. Like, do you have any ketchup on it? You know what I mean? I say that and watch. He's like some incredible wine connoisseur or something, and I'm the idiot. But, you know, still.
Put some Strawberry Crush on the side like dipping sauce.
Yeah. I'll have a Strawberry Crush martini if you have one. God, I love Billy.
But in all seriousness, the videos are oddly compelling and interesting.
That's like the fucked up part, right?
He has a very magnetic personality.
Yeah. He does. He's just very, and you see him finally, like you find out what he looks like, which is like, it very rarely works out on the internet that you see somebody and you're like, yes, you know, like that was completely not what I was expecting and I'm so happy. This is just like, oh, that's Billy. Okay.
I think that's the thing. He's refreshingly affable, which is a rare thing to find in the cynical internet world we inhabit on a daily basis.
Yeah, totally. Billy kind of just makes things better, you know?
Yeah.
Totally.
If you're having a bad day, you watch Tasty Tuesday and you're like, yeah, things are a little better now.
And frankly, like, showing himself also helps, like, market. I feel like Billy sponsored this podcast. No, but
you're going into sponsoring face cam territory, man. But you're right.
Yeah, and it also, I think, went a long way to taking away his little kid persona that he was worried about. You know, that we gave him inadvertently and also made him a fucking star, so where's the fucking gratitude? Yeah, but...
Talking about Oreos and Chips Ahoy takes away that child persona.
I guess, yes. I guess it does.
It makes sense.
I meant seeing him more, but now that you mention it, yeah. Actually, is that really our fault, now that I think about it? I mean, birthday cake, Chips Ahoy, what the hell is wrong with you, Billy? But... Plus, my favorite part of it, so he works for Frito-Lay, apparently, by his own admission, and he's wearing Chester Cheetah polos, but he owns them. That wasn't company issued or anything. He has 2 Chester Cheetah polos.
Oh, he has 2?
Yes, because in the one video, he's like, this isn't the one I had on last time. I bought, he says something like, I bought this one, you know, like, oh my God, awesome. It's great. And my wife legitimately loves Billy MC. She's like, can we watch it when you get home and shit like that? It's ridiculous.
It's becoming a weekly tradition.
It really is, yeah.
Forget primetime television. It's about gathering around the tube and watching Tasty Tuesday.
That's the incredible thing. It's like, you know, NBC puts so much like money into shit like Grimm and Constantine, and Billy makes that in 5 minutes, and I'm fucking glued. That'd be a good segue into Grimm and Constantine, but I don't watch either of them, so who cares?
Who has time for TV when there's all this YouTube?
Tell me about it.
All this YouTube.
So much fucking YouTube.
Speaking of there being a lot of YouTube, I think we should extend a quick special thanks, special acknowledgement.
Okay.
For a couple of videos that we've done recently. You and I both did not really have time to put them together after having recorded them.
Yes.
And a friend of the show, Turbo C, actually proactively contacted us apropos of nothing and said, hey, if you guys need help putting videos together, just let me know.
Yes. So, the recent Clock Tower videos, a couple others, I think. No, he's done a couple for us.
Every single one from now on.
Basically. No, yeah, he's helping us out, like, make these videos and put them up and stuff. So, if you're getting more Retsupurae content in the near future, that's all thanks to Turbo C, who I think is an official member of the family.
Agreed.
Thanks, Turbo.
Come to PAX South, Turbo.
He's coming to East. Fuck off.
No.
I'm actually sharing a room with him and Pula Hoko. It's going to be a wonderful time.
So you're going with the peons, huh?
Excuse me? No. Turbo's not a peon, my friend.
This Pul Hokeo.
No, he's been in a Retsutalk video. He was in the Newground stream. Technically, they do more for this channel than you do at this point. No, yeah. But so thanks a lot, Turbo.
Maybe I'll have a child.
Aren't you impotent?
Yeah, but...
It could happen, no. You never know what they're doing nowadays.
I mean, what if I think really hard about it?
Well, yeah. They're a lot of work.
Will it into existing? What's a lot of work? Making them? Yeah!
Yeah,
that's a lot of work.
Damn right.
Where did the babies come from, though?
Oh, God, it's all such a blur. It's such a weird process.
Are you sure you're the father?
Do you know that their skulls are really soft? Did you know about that?
Yes, I do.
Do you know that they the plates in their head shift around in order to fit out of the birth canal?
Ugh.
Yeah, it's true. Their skull isn't entirely fused when they're coming out. That's like part of how they fit. So if you ever watch a birth video, which I watched one, a lot of babies have like a cone head kind of shape to them.
Yeah.
Which looks totally alien and weird. Thankfully my daughter didn't. However, when she came out, I guess the plate was shifted a little. It looked like there was like a crinkle in her head or something. And now I want you to keep in mind, right? So I'm holding up my wife's leg or whatever to, the nurse is holding the other
one. For fun,
one.
yeah.
Right. I'm looking there and I see my daughter now with this misshapen head. And even though I know that about the soft skulls, I'm thinking, oh my God, my daughter's a freak, But I have to maintain because my wife's, pushing out a fucking baby. So I'm like, oh, everything's great. I pushed, and I'm like, oh no, what did I do? Why did I do all those drugs in college? But
right.
Yeah, but it's a wondrous experience. It's funny though. No, you watch other people's birth videos and shit to be ready, and it looks like the most disgusting, horrible thing. It's somehow different when it's your wife and kid and all that stuff. But then the placenta comes out, and that's really awful.
How does it taste?
Oh God, I would never fucking. Why were you Bates for that?
No, it was snake.
Oh.
They blend together.
No, it makes sense. Yeah, it's, well, ask Billy how it is. It is singularly the most disgusting thing I've ever seen. It's very alien, the placenta. It's I saw a little bit of it, I just, kind of turned away. all the other stuff, and there was blood. Whatever, but yeah, that was wow, that's something from Gall Shell.
That was the first thing you thought?
No, I didn't think anything. I had that instinctual, I'm not looking at that.
Well, that placenta really schmupped all over the place.
To be fair, though, it is kind of a Gall Shell thing.
So, have you seen a birth on television or in movies since then?
I've seen, real birth videos right before, but not since then, no.
I'd like to see how much you point at the screen and scoff the next time you see one on television.
Again, everything is different when it's, your child or whatever. You know, like, if I were watching another birthing video and it's like, oh, there's a baby coming out of that vagina, that's weird, you know, like, that, I still would be like, ah, that's odd, you know, miracle of childbirth sure looks weird and icky, you know, but then when it's like yours, it's like, hey, oh my gosh, you know, this is amazing kind of shit, you know what I mean?
Well, with Billy's next series of videos, Fallopian Fridays, maybe you'll be able to see births on a regular basis.
Maybe I will. Maybe I just will.
Yeah.
And then people have been asking, what's the first game you're gonna show your daughter? And the answer is none. No, I'm kidding.
No, she's not gonna play video games.
No. I once CC'd, I had this on my channel if you're interested, but she woke up at 3 a.m, and I wanted to, like, get my wife some sleep, you know? So I brought her downstairs, and I was like, fuck it, I streamed Toho. And I ended up...
Did she watch?
No, she was, like, asleep for most of it, you know? Like, she was in the little bassinet next to me, and I was kind of inadvertently doing an ASMR thing. But I made, like, a story about Toho. That, like,
are you saying the only people who watch ASMR videos are babies?
No, I'm
saying... Are you making a statement on that? Because the community is listening.
How is there a community?
There is.
There's also a Toho community, for the record. No, this was more like, I made the story of Toho a little more, like, family-friendly, which is odd that it had to be, but, you know.
Okay. And
so I told her the story of Toho, so I think I screwed up my daughter for life. No. Yeah. So, what do you know? And I managed to 1cc Subterranean Animism. Did I talk about that one on my my apology to Toho?
I don't know what that is. That sounds like another birthing term.
It is.
Okay.
No, I owe Toho an apology.
Oh.
Subterranean Animism is the 11th game in the series, and holy shit, it is awesome.
So this is more Toho.
Yeah, this is the last I'm gonna say on it, though. I'm gonna say that this is where I take it all back. Yeah, it's like, I thought it was weird or whatever. I will admit 11 is completely amazing. Like, 11 is like where I'd say, if you like me, had any sort of issues with, like, their little girls shooting spells at each other, no thanks, you know? Toho 11 is the one that you say, like, don't tell anybody, just play it, okay? Just trust
I thought
me.
having a baby would have changed your views on that, but I guess not.
Yeah, well, you know. There is that, too.
Okay.
Anyway, but enough about Toho.
How many Toho games come out annually? Because there's already 12 of them.
One a year, apparently. They're kind of like Madden's. Oh, there's more. There's 14 of them.
So they started in 2002?
I think. I'm not 100% on that, honestly.
What was the first shmup? Was it Pong?
Oh, ever? The first shmup?
Yeah.
I think Space War. Well, no, Space Invaders is given that credit, you know? I think it's, like, technically, like, a different one. It's tricky. There's actually a shmup documentary on YouTube that I watched.
There is?
Yeah, it's a Japanese thing. Because, like, it's big in Japan, you know, STG games or whatever.
Okay, sure.
They credit a different game. I think Space Invaders is generally considered sort of the granddaddy of it, you know? Yeah. And it's funny.
So when are you going to stream that?
Well, I was actually thinking of streaming Galaga. You know the old arcade game Galaga?
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
My older brother loved that game. And he used to, like, take me to arcades and stuff when I was little, and he used to play, like, the shit out of that.
Yeah, I actually think I played that at the last PAX.
Galaga?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, when we were at... Are you thinking of
the
RTX?
Arcade room.
RTX or PAX?
No, PAX.
Remember in RTX we went to that little arcade place with Cherry Doom and Geop and...
Oh, yeah. Yeah. No, we just played a shitload of pinball there.
And Turbo C, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. No, Galaga, it's funny because I want to see, like, how, like, things work with, like, incremental dodging and bullet herding and shit like that. Like, all the sort of, like...
Bullet herding?
Yeah. Herding like sheep.
Is that where a border collie comes on the screen and guides the bullets around?
U-shaped bullet... I actually wanted to make a video on this. Bullet herding is when you play those, like, bullet hell games with, like, thousands of bullets and it looks crazy. Mm-hmm. Bullet herding is, like, one of the more general strategies you kind of need. It's kind of... So what you do is... The bullets are all aimed at you, even though there's, like, thousands of them, or hundreds of them, you know?
Okay.
Or a lot of them are. So the idea is, most people's instinct is to just get to somewhere else on the screen as far away as possible. But if you think about it, then you have all these slow-moving bullets moving toward where you were, and now you have a whole new volley going to where you were. So if you move too far away, you're, like, effectively cutting down on areas of the screen you can go to. If that makes sense without a visual.
I think so.
You know what I mean? Like, if you're all the way on the left side of the screen... and then you move to the middle, and then something starts shooting toward the middle, you can't move back to the left side of the screen because you were just there. Which means if you start moving too far over, you're like cutting down on the regions of the screen you can move to because there's previous bullets there.
You need to be an esports commentator for shmups.
I was thinking, no, so the whole idea is, well, if something's shooting at you, rather than moving all the way out of the way, you just move over a tiny bit, like enough to just barely dodge it. And then the idea is like, things will start, the people shooting at you will just adjust minutely, and then you keep adjusting minutely. So if you start on, like, let's say the left side of the screen and just keep inching over right, you're hurting the bullets to go from to the left side of the screen, you know? And that way, if something big comes along or you really need to move, there's like a whole nother region. The whole right side of the screen is open for you.
You would be a horrible starship captain.
Why would I be?
Because instead of like evasive maneuvers, you'd like micromanage every micro inch of the ship's movement.
You seen me play Crimson Clover, son?
No.
You should watch. I'm really good.
Maybe later.
I have an unlimited mode video on my channel I'm like really proud of because I made it to stage 3 and it's like the lunatic mode of the game.
Is that the horde mode?
I guess so. What is horde mode?
Where you get a whole bunch of enemies constantly, and then when you clear those, harder enemies come, and you keep doing that till you die.
It's more like it's more meant to like look like it looks like a thing when you play it. You're like the first time you're like, I really don't know how a person is supposed to do this. You know what I mean?
Okay, yeah.
And then you start to learn like all these like little tricks of shoot 'em ups and things, and you're like, okay, and little by little you start to do it. But it's like one of the things you look at and you're like, wow, this looks impossible for a human being to play. The way I put it on the stream was like, bullet hells look like this genre of game that like people play and play nothing else of. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like you just need that much practice, but it's really all about tricks and stuff. I don't want to turn this into shmup chat every time we talk, but yeah.
Better than Danganronpa.
This is true.
Yeah.
What else was I going to bring up? Also, another thing I've been doing is I've been playing very terrible games lately.
For ironic enjoyment?
I
just Patreon made you?
No, no sir, actually. First of all, I choose the goals, but
yeah, but then they make you do them.
This is true. No, so I'll just to explain that, though, I've been kind of having fun with Patreon, you know? Like, I don't use it in the way you should use it. So I make the levels, like, the goals, just like different things I'll do, but like, I mean, it's not necessarily, like, Dectalon's like, it almost seems like you'll put up with more bullshit, but it's more like just things I think are funny or whatever, you know?
Sure.
It's almost like getting, like, levels in a game or something like that, so, first of all, though, I played Superman 64, but that had nothing to do with Patreon. That one I was just like, fuck it, I want to...
Did Proton John just appear when you did that?
You know, actually, he did, and I brought him on Skype, yeah.
It's that easy.
He went in my chat then. I think I, like, mentioned it on Twitter, like, I'm gonna finish Proton John's job and see how bad this game really is.
I mentioned it once in the bathroom and he appeared in the mirror.
But then, I wanted to, and I picked up Sonic 2006 from this,
oh boy.
mom and pop shop, you know?
Yeah.
And I always wanted to try it out, so, I shouldn't say I always wanted to try it out, but, like, ever since I got it, I'm like, I might as well, you know. So
does it live up to the horrific hype?
Let me talk to you for a bit about that. But,
okay.
No, I made that my $300 goal, and I said I'll do it with Mega Jose, you know? And just for the record, at the goal, I said I'll do 60 minutes, just in case it was, like, horrible, you know? I don't want to get stuck doing it and make bad content, because I'm obligated, but I'd like to do the whole thing with him. We did about 2.5 hours, me, him, Turbo C, and then Proton John jumped in again.
Isn't that a pretty long game?
Yeah. It's about 20 hours, I think.
20 hours?
Yeah. And I'm thinking...
Has anyone ever beaten it?
I'm thinking, we might have to do it, actually, for Retsupurae.
Really? It strikes me as kind of I've never watched it myself, but it strikes me as just an overdone concept in the year 2014. Your thoughts?
I'm gonna tell you something that, because I felt that way, too.
Okay.
Sonic 2006 is actually a roguelike.
A roguelike?
Or, I should say, well, of course not a true roguelike, you know, procedurally generated stuff. It is different every time you play, completely by accident.
Because there's a new glitch every time?
Yeah.
Oh.
Turbo C, was like, I just streamed this. He goes, I think he watched Game Grumps and, Metabot's, Let's Play of it, right?
Oh, he has a problem.
No, and he's like, I watched all of those. He goes, and in my stream, shit was happening that I never saw in either of those Let's Plays. And then when I played it, he's like, I've never seen some of the shit you've encountered. Alright, so, I guess right now, from the little I've played of both, Superman 64 is the more competent game.
It is?
It works better.
It does?
Yes. I'll put it this way. If you had to finish the games, and God knows you don't, but if you had to, let's say, finish them for some reason.
If I was under a really odd torture regimen.
Yeah. Superman 64 is something you could practice at and say, okay, I'll get used to the game's terrible quirks and enemy placement and boring bullshit, and I'll get there. You know what I mean? Eventually.
Then what is Proton John's excuse?
Well, it's a very boring, I don't blame him. It's not a fun game by any stretch of the imagination, Now, that having been said, Sonic 2006, if you ever wanted to say, do a no-death run of it, that's like playing the lottery.
If you want to.
No, I mean, there's just stuff in it that'll kill you even though it shouldn't have. Like, you'll just, walk and fall through a floor. Or because you have to remember, they'll, do high-speed shit. So just out of nowhere, the game will just fling you out of the skybox or something. Like, it's just you look at it, in sort of awe. And it's funny to try to guess what went wrong, because here's the thing. So, apparently when Sonic 2006 came out, it was the 15th anniversary of Sonic the Hedgehog,
Uh-huh.
I think it was the holiday release as well.
And the last anniversary.
Right, and so you're okay, I guess I get it, right? There's a super hard business deadline. You know what I mean? Fucking, execs at Sega are you must release Sonic 2006. This is huge. 15th anniversary of Sonic, next gen console, Xbox 360. It's so fucking bad though. You're I can't believe someone really made this decision to release it. I fear for the guy who was on this project,
Have they embraced the awfulness of it since then?
I don't know.
As a cult thing, which is essentially what it is, I guess?
I would, on the one hand, you would think so, but on the other hand, it really is embarrassing that this happened.
Is it the room of video games?
Yeah.
Okay.
But this is the more fucked up thing you have to remember. It's a Sega game. You know what I mean? Superman 64, some weirdo company worked with DC on, you know what I mean? What was it, Titan or something like that? I forget the name right now, they made other games or whatever. This is fucking Sega though, It's on the one hand, I get you, yeah, you'd think it'd be why not embrace it? Everyone knows how bad it is. This is really shameful that they produced this. I feel I wasn't a huge Sega fanboy or anything, but I'm wow, I feel so bad for them. It's really that bad. It's funny that way, It's one of the few things, alright, no, the internet over-exaggerates everything, but cause even then people are oh, your soul, you're gonna die. Alright, come on, it's a bad video game. Let's not go nuts here, I mean, but it is, I have to say, it does live up to the hype. It is that bad. And, everything about it is crazy bad. The story is, there's, time travel, and you're why?
Time travel?
Yeah.
In Sonic?
I was talking to, Mega Jose and Turbo MC, Turbo C, and I'm sorry.
Turbo MC's Turbo Tuesdays.
That was a Freudian slip on who I want to do video. No, I'm kidding. But, I'm so is that, the Lavos character of this game? And they're yeah, it is. And I'm oh, man. You know when, something is gonna go in the direction of time travel, and you're I know they didn't think this through. You know what I mean? This is just gonna be a fucking mess. I just know it.
When did Sonic make this weird move towards wanting to be more narrative-driven than where it started? Because I've never really followed. I was not a Sega person growing up. I only played a little bit of the first Sonic ever, and that's it. So I don't understand how it got from A to B.
This is something I've really never understood about Sonic the Hedgehog in general, is it seems like Sega is really intent on making characters, maybe to sell merchandise of, But there's this whole huge cast that I just don't care about. It's oh, Amy Rose is here. Who the fuck is Amy Rose? And she's I guess Girl Sonic or something. I don't know. But I'm gonna get in trouble for that, I'm sure. But
actually slow beef.
Right, no, but there's Rouge the Bat and
well, of course.
Right. But then there's Shadow the Hedgehog. Do you know about Shadow the Hedgehog?
I've heard of Shadow, yeah.
He's the black hedgehog, but he has a gun?
A gun?
Yeah, yes.
Gotta shoot fast.
Yeah, but he has a fucking gun! Can you imagine Sonic colored black with a giant cartoony Magnum? It's weird.
Well, what's more dark version of Sonic than a gun?
I guess. Yeah, so then, So Sonic 06 has this weird story, but then there's, like, realistic human characters in it, too. That, like, Sonic has, like, a love interest with this princess.
There's, like, Christopher Robin characters?
Yeah. I guess so, yeah. That's the way to put it.
Interesting.
I can't stand still that they call him Eggman. That's just a little petty.
Wasn't he always that?
No, he was Robotnik in the American version. Right?
But in the Japanese, it was called Eggman?
He was always, like, Eggman, yeah.
Okay.
I don't know why, I mean, it doesn't...
And who is the walrus?
Well, Eggman does look kind of like that, but...
True.
Yeah. No, but, so it's totally weird, because you have, like, Eggman, and Sonic, who's kind of, like, cartoon mascot character. Eggman, who's kind of cartoon character, with sort of, like, an attempt at, like, 3D photorealistic people, you know? So, it's just extremely odd. And then, like I said, there's, like, these weird scenes with Sonic and the princess in the meadow, and it's, like, kind of romancy.
There's a princess?
Yeah, Princess Elise.
And is she a person or a hog?
No, she's that's what I'm saying, she's a person.
Okay.
But there's, like, kind of, like, a love overtone, and I've heard it, like, I'm not imagining that either. So, like, it's kind of just a fucking mess all around. And it's not even, it's like, that's the funny part, it's not even like a thing you say, well, the game's okay at least. Like, the game is atrocious. And it's funny, because it's one of those things that keeps getting worse. Like, you also can play as Silver the Hedgehog. Who,
Silver?
Yeah, who is telepathic.
Why?
Why Silver the Hedgehog, or?
Why would that exist?
Yeah, that's a good question.
As a concept.
He's, like, white, too. I don't really get that. But, Silver the Hedgehog...
So he's the good guy, then?
Well, he's telepathic, right?
Of course.
Okay, so you know how Sonic's life system works, where you get, like, rings, and then...
Of course, yeah. I played a little bit of it, yeah.
Right. Okay, so your first boss fight with Silver is kind of infamously bad. I didn't know about this,
Okay.
But, like, Silver can telepathically, throw Sonic against a wall, or just hit him automatically, more or less, right?
Wait, I thought Silver was a good guy.
Well, how they do in those games where it's like, I think you're evil, maybe you're not evil after we fight. You know what I mean? Like, mistaken identity.
Have you played none of my other games?
Right, yeah. So Silver can throw things at you, or Silver can just grab you out of the air and throw you, right?
Okay.
So, let's say Silver throws you against a wall, like you're close to a wall. Sonic loses all his rings. Before anything else, Silver just grabs him again before you have control of the player again, so he just insta-kills you.
Oh.
There's also footage where if you get close to a wall, you can get hit against the wall, Sonic will automatically collect the ring, Silver will throw him again, and he'll automatically collect the ring, and you, the player, can't get out of that loop ever. So you have to, like, exit the game, because Silver's got...
And that's intentional.
No, that's a bug.
Okay.
Silver is a really hard boss because it's so badly designed that, like, you have to, like, first of all, the camera is maybe the worst camera I've ever used in any 3D game in my life. The game runs 60 frames a second, which is impressive. The camera is so fucking fast. Like, you can't really control it, and you're sort of fighting it the entire game. So with the Silver fight, you need to keep him in camera, but every time you run somewhere, the camera, like, almost purposefully goes in the opposite direction. So you can't see if he's throwing something and he's vulnerable, or if he's chasing you, in which case you gotta stay the fuck away. I was watching a glitch video of it. You can get in all areas you shouldn't be able to go, and fucked up things happen to the game when you do. Like, it's so funny. And then when you play as Silver, holy shit, nothing works. Because his whole thing is he's supposed to pick up objects, and it uses the Havoc physics engine, by the way. He's supposed to pick up objects and throw them at enemies. If there is a good way to aim his shit at enemies, I do not know it.
There's no Z-targeting lock system or anything?
No, there is not. Also, and this is just a silly nitpick, when you play as Tails, you get to throw fake ring bombs.
Ring bombs?
Yeah.
Fake ring bombs? There were real ring bombs at one point?
Yeah, because I asked Turbo, I'm like, and Jose, I'm like, am I missing something? Like, did he ever do anything like this? They're like, no. Like, this is just something weird in Sonic 2006. So, the fake ring bomb is like a glass, like, lantern-ish kind of thing. Sort of like what you get power-ups out of. You throw it at enemies, it explodes, and fake rings come out. The fake rings don't do anything to the enemies. if you get hit by the fake rings, you're kind of screwed because now you have your real rings that you need to collect mixed among all these fake ones. I don't know why Tails is carrying this item.
Is it a gag gift for a party he's going to?
I suppose. I'm like, it's like one of those things I'm like staring at it like, what happened here, you know?
Wow.
It's really one of those things though, like, I almost think of as like a fun like business experiment, like, what really went wrong, you know?
What preceded and succeeded Sonic 06?
Sonic Unleashed was the one after it. I'm not sure about Preceded. Preceded, I think there were a bunch of like Sonic games around then, you know, like Sonic Adventure, there was like Sonic Dash, I think, for like, you know what I mean? I wasn't a huge, I really stopped playing after like the second or third on the Genesis back in the day. And Sonic Spinball. But yeah, this one actually lives up to the hype and how bad it is.
Impressive. And you're intending to finish all of it. I have to know how deep it goes. Like, it's really, you really cannot imagine how bad this is. I'm trying.
It's awesome. Well, Jose is supposed to have the first video up, but soon. And then I'll put up the second, but, I don't know. It's so bad. But he was very helpful and told me that the statues do double damage on one of the bosses.
Nice.
Totally. No, he's a good guy, though. I don't know why I said though there, like, except for that part where he tried to help me with a boss. No, what was I gonna say? Yeah, it's an amazing game. And funnily enough, apparently, we're not done shitting on Sonic entirely, because Sonic Boom came out today. And for the Wii, I think.
What?
The Wii U, rather. Sonic Boom Rise of Lyric. Did you hear about this game?
Is that a Guile Sonic crossover?
Sonic Boom is apparently a whole thing. Sega of America is handling it. It's kind of different than the regular Sonic type of stuff. You know, Knuckles is like kind of big, and I don't know if you've seen him, like Sonic has a scarf, and Knuckles is more of a bruiser now, and shit like that. There's gonna be a cartoon series based on it, there's gonna be a line of toys and shit like that. But there is a video game called Sonic Boom Rise of Lyric, and it is, apparently really fucking bad.
Oh, really?
Like, buggy and glitchy bad.
It's out now?
Yes, it came out, I think, today.
Nice.
But like people are already calling it like Sonic 2006 again, and having now played Sonic 2006 myself, I cannot believe that because of how bad Sonic 2006 is, but, it's really bad apparently. And it's got Good Company, I don't know if you heard. Good
Company? Oh, another glitchy game that came out recently?
Yeah.
I did hear about Assassin's Creed Unity.
Yes. Do you ever, like, want to call something, but you didn't, and then you wish you did after the fact, so you can't say you've called it at all?
Of course.
Do you remember when, Ubisoft kind of caused a little controversy when they're like, we're not gonna have, like, 3D, or, female avatars in the co-op mode?
Oh, yeah, because they wanted to devote more time towards improving the other stuff.
Yeah.
Or working on the other stuff.
I was, like, thinking, I wonder what they're not telling us exactly, because that's a controversial feature. And you know you have to kind of get ahead of the bad press you might get out of that, so you announce it. I get all that, but I'm like, that kind of speaks to me something's going wrong with the project, you know?
In general, yeah.
Yeah, where it's like, we have to bail water, so I'm like, it's sort of funny in a way, because it looks like a really bad game, apparently.
I've seen a couple of GIFs of it.
Yeah.
Of like a guy just kind of floating above a door under an awning.
I guess I shouldn't say, to be fair, I shouldn't say it looks like a bad game, because I haven't played the other Assassin's Creed, so I don't know how to compare. But there's control issues people have pointed out, where it's like, if you go to, like, into a door, the game doesn't know if you want to climb over the door or enter it, you know? And then there's, frame rate issues apparently are really bad. And keep in mind, the game is purposely locked at 900p, which I didn't realize was a standard.
900p?
Yes, 900p. This is where things get a little, I know there were reports, I don't know how true they are, that like Xbox One, like a lot of the games were actually 900p and upscaled to 1080. I don't think that's an endemic thing that all Xbox One games are like. I think some of the early ones were. But at any rate, there was some controversy that, basically Ubisoft said we're gonna keep this game at 900p to make sure it works across all platforms. Which, like, a lot of PS4 people got pissed off because they felt like it was the Xbox version holding them back, you know? That kind of thing. Or that there was some, like, some shady kind of deal going on where it's like, hey, why don't you purposefully, keep the game, whatever, like bad for even for for everyone sort of. So
That's where the Unity comes in.
right, yeah, or like Microsoft paid them or something like that. But then review copies of Unity had no microtransactions enabled.
Oh, there are microtransactions
There are microtransactions
in a $60 game.
Yes. This is kind of controversial in its own right, and the question is like, well, when can you do that? When's it get shady? This
When
is
would that ever be a good idea, though, in a AAA expensive game?
Well, if we're talking like academically kind of shit, right? I mean, technically, I think macro transactions, like Dark Souls DLC, like an expansion pack-ish kind of thing. I think
sure,
that's
but the game just came out.
Yeah, but I'm just saying like extra levels, like that kind of content seems okay.
Okay.
People are okay with Team Fortress 2 type of cosmetic shit, that doesn't really matter.
Isn't that game free now?
Oh yeah. And I'm sorry, I'm thinking of Counter-Strike, but is Counter-Strike free or?
It's not $60.
It's true.
Or maybe it is.
Forza's weird because some of the cars are like that, I think the latest Forza has like a $60 car or something, one of the Lotuses. But
I'd buy a $60 car in real life.
Yeah, I know what you meant, but unfortunately that's not how.
Oh.
Yeah, so the microtransactions in Assassin's Creed is apparently there's some kind of in-game currency type of deal, akin to, I guess, the rings or whatever you get in Bayonetta or the...
Thought you were going to say Sonic.
Souls you get in Dark Souls.
What if Sonic 06 had microtransactions where you could buy rings? And then Silver takes them away from you and kills you? Sega would make millions.
I think they should have, like, microtransactions that fix the glitches. You want a better Game Pass.
I mean, we'll patch it, but it'll cost you.
So, yeah. That's,
So you can buy more in-game currency to buy costumes and weapons and
well,
stuff?
The reason I likened it to the Bayonetta stuff is I think it's in-game currency like Souls and Dark Souls, meaning it's stuff you can spend on abilities and shit.
Okay.
And the tricky thing with that is you say, the argument for is like, play the game and grind for shit.
The pay-to-win philosophy.
Right, that'll make things easier on you. But on the other hand, too, people say, well, that could also fuck with the game's pacing. And of course, then the developer is incentivized to make something grindy, so you'll be likely to pay for it,
So it sounds like a shit game, then.
But hold on, I just want to be very clear, though. I'm not saying Ubisoft did that, nor do I know of that accusation, but I'm saying in general, that's like a kind of thing, right?
You heard the story here first, folks.
I'm not saying that for any sort of libel thing or whatever. I'm just, But I just want to be clear because if someone might point out, like, actually, the pacing is quite good, even without the transactions. I do not know for sure. I'm just saying.
Okay.
But even so, it's sort of like when the game is very glitchy like that, it's supposed to be AAA. It does strike, people as kind of ballsy to be like, oh, by the way, you could give us more money if you like.
Right, exactly.
It's like...
And don't they make like 7 or 8 Assassin's Creed games a year already?
Yeah. It's kind of like buying a BMW and the dealer drives it out and it's got like 3 wheels and it explodes. He's like,
and then the 2016 BMW pulls in.
Yeah, and he's like, or like it just explodes in front of you and the dealer's like, now do you want to give me more money? Like it's kind of ridiculous that way. It sort of brings up the whole thing is like, when are microtransactions okay? And one thing I said on Twitter, which I kind of, not as a sweeping rule, but maybe as a general rule of thumb, I'm okay with microtransactions in like the mobile space where like $5 is considered expensive for a video game. Cause, they do make games with like, 3D modeling and engines and all that, mobile games even, I mean. And casual or not, that does take time to develop. So when your market is so low, I don't mind things like that because you do have to pay people, I mean, then of course you have people who do things like Zynga or King, and that's a whole different thing. But
The
I'm
real
saying
good
like
people
right
out there. Yeah.
But like you say too, that's not a $60 game either. So but that's the thing too. It's like that gets into the whole question of, well, the market supports it. Does that make it okay? Kind of thing. You know what I mean?
I've never heard of microtransactions in AAA games.
Well, like I said, Forza had them. It's a new thing. I kind of liken it to like some business manager person who isn't really huge into the game scene and stuff, though, kind of going like, hey, look, Zynga and King are making money hand over fist in the mobile space. Copy that without even thinking,
So why didn't Unity get released on mobile for $60? That's where the market is.
Right. Well, I guess you wonder too, because like these people aren't like stupid either, you know. Is it like a thing where they say, look, I know that a lot of people are going to be mad at this, but of them, like I have 40% of people who are just hardcore Assassin's Creed players for, you know, whatever price it is. So am I cool with that, you know, or what? But then you also, I say that, but then there's also the notion of like, you know, you obviously had some issues with your game, but for some reason needed to keep that deadline. And there's different reasons why they need to keep that deadline, you know. Like, when you're releasing things to like Microsoft and Sony and have that licensing thing, there's a time frame where Microsoft, Sony, I think, like say like, okay, we'll review your game, you know, for our platform and shit. And like when you're a big company like that, you know, Activision slices out some time and, you know what I mean? Like, a lot of the AAAs have to carve out time with those big companies. So, if you miss your window, you've really missed your window, you know?
And it's going to cost you big time.
Right. Plus, there's marketing schemes behind everything, you know? So, like, you know, especially nowadays in games where they have, like, real-life products that have, like, product placement kind of things, you know? Where they say, like, where if like, Coke wants to be in your video game, not that it would be in Assassin's Creed, of course, or
what if it was?
I know, I was just thinking that, actually.
What if you can, for $10, your character can drink a Diet Coke and restore, you know, some HP?
It could be maybe like an advertising or pay model where it's like, watch a commercial for Coke at the French Revolution.
Or you assassinate a guy and Coke bleeds out of him instead of blood. And then he kind of turns towards the camera, has a Coke bottle, fills it up.
Or the Animus makes you watch a YouTube video before you can... I heard they don't even have that in the game.
In each assassination, there is an embedded Tasty Tuesday video where Billy MC reviews Coke.
I've never actually played the Assassin's Creed, if you want the truth.
Ubisoft, you can hire us.
And but that's the whole question, right? Is like, when does that stuff get too much, or is there an appropriate place? Or is it a thing where we bellyache, but we still pay for it? You know?
Have you ever paid a microtransaction? Not counting DLC or anything, but like in a game, you pay a nominal fee for a small thing that you could get by just playing the game normally.
Not in recent memory.
I have not.
No. Well, South Park had an episode on this, which I don't know I don't know the statistics on, but their contention was these freemium sort of models and microtransactions are 99% of people never pay it, according to them, but you have the 1% who get really addicted and they pay like tons for microtransactions.
Yeah.
I don't know how much I buy into that, because I do know like people who are like, you know, not really, they don't seem like addictive personalities or weird people. They don't seem like there's something like being exploited there. They seem, you know what I mean? Like, it's just like people who
know
are
what
like,
they're doing.
Yeah. Like, I had one friend who was like kind of into video games, but he liked Candy Crush. And if he got stuck on a level, I just watch him like just hit the buy button, you know, like over and over. He'd buy like the lollipop or whatever. You know what I mean? I mean, I guess though I don't know what I mean by that either, because maybe that person, that 1% person that they're talking about, isn't like a weird person. It's just a subset of people like you and me, but they're like, hey, I really want to beat that level. And I actually do kind of have, not like a theory, but like an idea nowadays that maybe like video games do kind of sort of like work off the success kind of part of your brain. You know what I mean?
The reward part of your brain?
That's it, the reward, thank you,
yeah.
Yes. Yeah, so I do wonder sometimes if those microtransaction things are meant to exploit it, you know?
I feel like that'd be cheating the reward center a little bit, though, knowing that you just kind of cut a huge corner.
Well, I mean, if you think about it, right, that's kind of like how drugs work, is that they activate endorphin receptors in your brain without, you know, exercise or like food or things that like quote unquote natural. I'm saying food, even though people do get.
Yeah, but then you're paying money for literally nothing. Except for getting that progression. You're not injecting anything into your body.
But you have to remember, like, even with games, technically you're not accomplishing anything. You just feel like you are, right?
Whoa, man.
But I guess
crossed a line, bro.
But I suppose metaphysically you could say, do we ever really accomplish anything in life?
Where's this conversation going?
No, but like the feeling you get from I don't know, like building a house, or because all of us do that.
We can all relate to that.
You know what I'm saying, though? Like doing something productive, like that.
Sure.
That you get rewarded for, like internally, you know. it makes you feel good, and that's kind of like the right thing and stuff. Do video games hijack that by
It
making
just strikes me as like cheating, and then knowing that, and then the reward center just like, but you cheated.
Right, but then again, are you trained to be like stage complete equals something rewarding?
You could.
But I mean, like, I don't know about you, but like, there's something rewarding for me about banging my head against Ornstein and Smo until I finally beat them. You know, but it feels
But you don't
good.
have to pay $2 to just have them die.
Yeah, I get what you mean on that, right? Where it's like, that doesn't feel like I won at all. You know, that feels almost like a letdown in a way, right? But,
well, in Candy Crush, it's just accessibility, right?
well, you have to remember with Candy Crush too, I do think there's something disingenuous going on, because it's all random. Like, you can't beat that stage through skill, you know? It's like, it's just hidden. It is random, though, you know?
Mm.
So, you know, maybe in that sense, because it's already kind of fooling you, I don't know, like, in Candy Crush, you have to remember, too, it's not outright 99 cents to beat the level, it's 99 cents for more lives or a power-up. So maybe it maintains that, like...
To have more chances.
Right. It maintains
in that case, yeah.
That veneer of you earned this, you know?
Because you persisted.
Yeah, and it's the same with Assassin's Creed Unity, if you think about it, because it's not 99 cents to beat the mission for you, it's 99 cents to gain a new ability that might help you beat the mission.
Hmm.
And you have to remember, too, like, again, it's, like, weird, because there's, like, well, Cracked kind of talked about this a little, like, there's, like, addiction specialists and stuff like that, you know? People who, like, study this psychologically and say, like, what turns a product from, like, enjoyable to, like, out and out addicting, you know?
It's a hard line, because it would just strike me if I did that, part of my brain would know, but you paid for it, whereas all these other gamers out there probably didn't have to do the same goal.
But, like, again, like, you know, for some people, it's like, I just really want to beat this friggin' level I've been stuck on for a week, you know? So if I spend 99 cents on armor, a higher jump or something, I'm still earning it, right? You know? I'm just saying, I know that's not technically correct, but does it hijack you a little bit and to make you feel
Maybe.
like...
I tend to think about games as, what is the base game offer that I can put in my toolbox to meet this goal without having to reach out over here and get this other thing that by all logic I shouldn't have to get. I know it's there, but I'd really feel good if I just used the toolbox that the game already gave me with the flat fee I paid for it.
Well, yeah.
Different strokes.
I understand. That's a tricky thing, right? But that's like, and it's interesting because for me, like, even stuff that's in the toolbox, I feel like cooperation in Dark Souls, I didn't go for it because I felt like it was just like, not easy mode or anything, you know, you're supposed to do it, but
there's an element of honor there for you.
I really wanted to do it myself, you know? I don't know exactly how I'd describe it, but, you know, that's the thing, and you wonder, yeah. You do wonder sometimes, too, like, if, I do, you know what, one thing that kind of annoys me, is, like, this term gamer that people kind of latch onto. You have to remember it's a marketing term, too.
Sure.
And it really bugs me, like, for example, that Pepsi, like, markets, like, Mountain Dew and shit to gamers, because Mountain Dew is kind of, I don't know about anybody else, but I think it's kind of a gross drink.
It is kind of disgusting.
I mean, unless they want to sponsor the Retsutalk, which
now
is
let's
delicious.
talk about Doritos.
But, like, that's, like, kills me, where it's like, oh, this is, gamers love this. Like, no, we don't. Since fucking when?
Yeah, what makes that a gamer drink?
Pepsi makes that a gamer drink.
Yeah, but, like, what about it makes it a gamer drink? Besides them saying, like, gamers like this.
What makes it a gamer drink is Pepsi wants to sell more, Mountain Dew. And, I don't think Pepsi owns Doritos. Is that Frito-Lay? I don't think Frito-Lay is owned by Pepsi. I'm not sure if that's a crossover thing, you know? But my point is, though, you know, they do these sorts of things where, like, they want to sell more of a product, so they market it to a market segment, you know? And all of a sudden, like, Virginia Slim cigarettes, like, for women, you know, which is, like, what, they're fucking cigarettes. Like, why do you need men's and women's cigarettes? That doesn't make sense, you know?
What's the gamer cigarette?
Right. Or, like, secret deodorant. Like, are you really telling me that, like, men and women sweat so fucking differently that we need, like an actual chemical version of fucking soap? You know?
Yeah.
Or, it's, you know, it's crazy, but, like, they kind of market it that way. But Mountain Dew maybe isn't selling so well. You can even tell in the name, right? It's supposed to be allegedly like something fresh and pure, like dew off the mountain.
Squeezed right from the mountains.
Right, but it's like this fucking carbonated slime that's like could not be any more fucking sugary.
It's from the mountains of a very alien planet.
Right. And then like that's the thing I remember that Game Jam thing that happened a long time ago?
Yeah.
Like that reality TV, game development thing.
Oh, sure.
And it's like the first prize that they offered them was like a lifetime supply of Mountain Dew.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like, are you fucking with
Is that
me?
a prize or a death sentence?
I really don't know that I could even pretend for money. So that would be a good thing, like, you get to be on TV. You just gotta pretend the lifetime supply of Mountain Dew is good. I can't do that. I'm not a fucking actor like that.
Where do you store that lifetime supply?
Like, fucking Ben Kingsley would be like, I'm sorry, what's my motivation again? Are you serious? But that's like kind of the fucked up part of it. It's like, hey, yeah, you're gamers, right? I know nothing fucking about you or what you like, but you like Mountain Dew. And it's kind of like this chicken and egg thing where it's like the reason gamers like Mountain Dew is because they're told gamers like Mountain Dew, That shit kind of annoys me, frankly, because, like, I don't know.
And what do you drink, Slowbeef?
I drink seltzer water, if you want to know the truth.
Oh.
I'm really a big fan of seltzer water. Because I like soda, but, it's not too great for you. And I feel like diet sodas kind of fuck with you a bit, So.
The aspartame, whatnot?
Nah, not really that even. I just feel like there's like, I thought I read somewhere there's stuff like with artificial sugar where it's like, it's not great because your body kind of thinks it's sugar. So it like sort of prepares it in you.
Hey, it's all I drink and look how I turned out.
That's true. No, I don't know. I don't think I'm just bullshitting.
I drink diet water.
Right. I don't know anything about food science, so really don't trust this part of the podcast. But, I don't know. I'm just saying, like, I've really gotten into seltzer water as sort of an alternative to soda, and I like it a lot, so.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just, I think Mountain Dew is swill, and I almost feel like it's insulting that, people do it. Not that, like, I'm such a huge proponent of gamer culture or whatever, but it's just like, come on, man, like, I don't want to drink fucking Mountain Dew. And then Doritos flavored Mountain Dew is pretty much Pepsi and Frito-Lay's getting together and saying, why don't we just say gamers are swine? Why don't we just fucking do that to their face?
I feel like that's just some kind of demented science experiment.
But, yeah, it's like, what piece
Does
of
this make anyone's mouth water?
Right. It's kind of like that Honey Boo Boo show. Like, will people watch just fucking anything? Let's see.
Exactly.
Let's find out together. And the answer is yes.
You want to get some Doritos after this, though?
No, I don't, to be frank with you.
Okay.
Cause you know what, Doritos do taste good, but they leave that fucking dust on your hands everywhere and shit.
It's better than any other chip that leaves grease on your hands.
Well, that's true, I guess. But like, at least
Pita
it's
chips.
not.
Just go with pita chips.
At least it's not being put in a fucking soft drink.
Yeah.
Yet, right? That's the other thing. It's like, you're gonna want to drink Lay's and Coke? No, I'm not fucking disgusting.
You could put the two in a blender, see what happens.
We got Pop Chips and Coke Zero. It's really healthy, trust me.
This would happen if Billy MC outsourced Tasty Tuesday.
For you health nuts out there. Seriously, this podcast is sponsored by Doritos flavored Mountain Dew. All right, that's the hour, so.
I think that's all we got.
I think so, yeah. All right, well, what can I say? That's all right.
Peace, love, and Doritos.